My name is Daniel, and I'm a 21-year-old man now, but the story I'm about to tell you unfolded when I was just 15. Back then, I lived in a rural area in the heart of Oklahoma, nestled deep in a valley surrounded by dense forests. Our enclave was like a hidden gem, shielded from the outside world with only a single opening leading into the vast plains. Picture a horseshoe-shaped valley, and you'll have a rough idea of the landscape. It was the early hours of October 8, 2004, a few days into the bow season. Finally getting a break from my daily routine, I decided to explore my grandfather's expansive 900 acres of land. The clock read 4:30 a.m. as I drove out to the location. I walked down a man-made trail, heading to my chosen spot beneath a tree. Anticipation hung in the air as I settled in, my eyes focused on the feeder in a nearby clearing on the south side of the massive property. As the darkness enveloped the forest, I sat in silence, occasionally hearing the distant moo of a cow or the haunting howl of a nearby coyote. The stillness of the morning settled over me, my senses heightened in the quietude. But then, the tranquility was shattered by the unexpected arrival of a group of cows and their calves. They emerged from the other side of the woods and began grazing in the clearing, disrupting my hopes of spotting any wildlife. Sighing, I resigned myself to the presence of the bovine intruders. For about 15 minutes, I watched them peacefully graze, wishing something more exciting would emerge at the feeder. However, the mundane scene took a sudden turn when one of the cows abruptly lifted its head, alert and attentive. The rest of the herd followed suit, their attention drawn to the tree line beside me. The first cow trotted off in the opposite direction, and the others, now on high alert, followed suit, abandoning the clearing. My eyes, adjusted to the darkness, scanned the tree line, searching for the cause of the disturbance. That's when I heard it, the distinct sound of branches snapping. A chill ran down my spine as I beheld a sight that defied reason. A colossal figure emerged from the forest, towering at a staggering height of 21 to 23 feet. Its long fingers wrapped around a tree trunk, and its lanky arms swung gracefully, despite its enormous size. Though it moved ape-like, there was an undeniable majesty to its motion. As the creature drew closer, its features became clearer in the moonlight. Its face was long, reminiscent of the Scream mask, with slits for a mouth and eyes that reflected light like a dog's. It had no discernible nose. Its legs were long and digitigrade, akin to a rabbit's or someone attempting to walk on the balls of their feet. The creature, this enigma of the woods, moved into the clearing with an eerie grace. My heart raced, and a sense of dread settled in as I watched it squat down, fixating its gaze on something in the clearing. At this point, it was a mere 50 feet away from me. I held my breath, praying it wouldn't notice my presence. I was clad in heavy winter camo, no hint of orange to give away my location. Just when I thought I had escaped its notice, the creature blinked. Its eyes darted back and forth, scanning the area, as if it could sense something but couldn't quite pinpoint it. I remained absolutely still, a silent observer in the shadows. Time stretched into an agonizing eternity as the creature continued its search. Eventually, as if losing interest, it stood and bounded away on all fours, disappearing into the depths of the forest. I never encountered the creature again, nor anything like it. The memory of that night, however, remains etched in my mind, a mind-blowing and terrifying experience that defies rational explanation. There are mysteries in the depths of those Oklahoma woods that elude our understanding, and sometimes, it's best that they remain just that, mysteries. Growing up in Clinch, Tennessee, I heard tales of Cherokee legends that permeated the very fabric of the region. Among these stories were whispers of man-eating fish lurking in the rivers and monstrous creatures that roamed the hills and mountains. My great-uncle, however, was a firm non-believer in the paranormal, often poking fun at my papa for his unwavering belief in the supernatural. Little did he know that an encounter deep in the heart of the Clinch Mountains would forever change his perspective. In his younger days, my uncle was a party enthusiast, always ready for a good time. One evening, my papa, fueled by a determination to prove the existence of spirits, proposed an unusual adventure. "Grab your girl, and let's drive around," he insisted. My uncle, along with his girlfriend now wife and 2 other buddies, eagerly agreed to the nocturnal escapade. As they ventured into the night, driving alongside the dense trees, the conversation in the vehicle took an unexpected turn towards the existence of spirits. My papa was determined to unveil the supernatural, and to do so, he guided them down a mysterious, obscure path deep in the woods, Black Sheep Hollow. Legends claimed it was cursed, with stories passed down by the Cherokee who had once lived or roamed there. True to its name, the hollow had a sinister reputation, as it was rumored to have been a dumping ground for bodies, particularly during the Prohibition era. As the group delved deeper into Black Sheep Hollow, my uncle began to sense an unsettling stillness in the air. The night seemed unusually quiet, and a chill ran down his spine. Instincts, honed by a childhood spent in the backwoods, kicked in, alerting him that something was amiss. He started padding around, searching for the source of his unease, and that's when he felt it, an unexpected presence. To his horror, my uncle spotted a figure seated in the car next to one of his friends. This figure, however, was not part of their original group. A tall, imposing black man adorned in overalls sat there, his entire form drenched in blood from head to toe. The shock intensified as my uncle realized the gruesome source of the blood. One of the man's eyes was missing, while the other remaining eye glowed a malevolent red. Before my uncle could articulate a word, his girlfriend screamed in terror. In response, my papa slammed on the brakes with such force that the 3 passengers in the back were sent careening into the front of the cab. When my uncle regained his composure and glanced back up, the spectral figure had vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. Needless to say, the atmosphere inside the car was thick with an eerie silence as the group grappled with the inexplicable encounter. The warning from the Cherokee legends had materialized before their very eyes, shaking the foundation of my uncle's skepticism. From that night forward, neither he nor my papa ever dared to traverse that road again, haunted by the ghostly apparition that had crossed their path in Black Sheep Hollow. The impact of that supernatural encounter lingered, echoing through the generations. A stern warning echoed through the family: never venture down that road or too deep into the woods. The tale became a cautionary legend passed down from parents to children and from grandparents to grandchildren, a haunting reminder of the thin veil that separates the seen from the unseen in the backwoods of Clinch, Tennessee. As the years passed, the story became ingrained in the family's lore, a cautionary tale told around campfires and family gatherings. It transformed from a mere ghost story into a shared experience, a testament to the inexplicable mysteries that lurked in the heart of Clinch. The once skeptical uncle now spoke of that fateful night with a somber seriousness, his eyes reflecting the lingering impact of that supernatural encounter. The legend of Black Sheep Hollow became intertwined with the very identity of our family. Each retelling carried the weight of the eerie silence that fell over the car that night, the vivid image of the blood-soaked, one-eyed specter forever etched in their memories. And so, the tale served as a potent reminder that even the staunchest non-believers could be confronted with the unexplainable, a lesson passed down through the ages. As I grew older, the allure of the story only intensified. The forbidden road and the mysterious hollow called out to my curiosity, but the ancestral warning echoed louder. The family mantra, "Never go down that road or too deep into the woods," became a boundary that held more power than any physical barrier. Yet, the intrigue lingered, like a dormant flame waiting for the right moment to spark. One summer evening, driven by a mix of teenage rebellion and an insatiable desire for adventure, I found myself gathered with friends, contemplating a journey into the heart of Clinch's enigmatic woods. The tales of Black Sheep Hollow whispered in the back of my mind, but the allure of the unknown beckoned me forward. We were young and invincible, or so we believed. As we ventured into the darkness, the air thickened with an unspoken tension. The familiarity of the surroundings, the towering trees casting elongated shadows, and the quiet hum of nature took on an ominous quality. The stories of my great-uncle's spectral encounter played on a loop in my mind, but the thrill of the forbidden drowned out the cautionary whispers. The journey led us deeper into the woods, the path becoming increasingly obscured. The moonlight filtered through the dense foliage, casting an ethereal glow on our surroundings. The atmosphere crackled with an otherworldly energy, and a nagging sense of being watched settled over the group. Suddenly, the air became unnaturally still, and the temperature dropped. It was as if the very essence of the woods held its breath. An uncomfortable shiver ran down my spine, triggering a visceral response. The stories, once dismissed as mere legends, now felt tangible, and the weight of the family warning pressed upon me. As we continued, an inexplicable sense of dread enveloped us. The rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl intensified, morphing into an eerie symphony that seemed to echo the foreboding tales of the past. The boundary between reality and folklore blurred, and the once enticing adventure now felt like a precarious dance with the unknown. Then, just as the tension reached its peak, a flicker of movement caught my eye. A silhouette, barely discernible in the darkness, appeared among the trees. The air grew colder, and the once distant hoots now seemed to form a rhythmic cadence. The forest came alive with an energy that transcended the natural realm. As the figure materialized, dread tightened its grip on my heart. A towering presence, draped in overalls, stood before us. Blood, like an unholy shroud, covered the figure from head to toe. Panic seized my chest as I fixated on the eyes, one missing, the other glowing a malevolent red. The same eyes that had haunted my great-uncle's nightmares were now fixed upon us. A collective gasp escaped our lips as the apparition loomed, and time seemed to stand still. The warnings of generations past echoed in my ears, a chorus of voices urging retreat. But the weight of the supernatural encounter held us captive, our fear momentarily paralyzing us. Then, in an instant, the figure vanished, leaving behind only the lingering chill and the unsettling knowledge that we had trespassed into the realm of the unexplainable. The air, once thick with an otherworldly presence, returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the woods retained an eerie stillness, as if whispering a silent admonition. In the aftermath of that fateful night, the story of our encounter joined the ranks of family legends, intertwining with the tale of Black Sheep Hollow. The once skeptical great-uncle, now a witness to the supernatural, nodded knowingly as I recounted our experience. The ancestral warning had been validated once again, and the boundary between belief and disbelief blurred in the face of the inexplicable. As the years passed, the cautionary tale gained potency, a testament to the enduring mysteries that cloaked the backwoods of Clinch, Tennessee. The once forbidden road became a symbol of respect for the unknown, a reminder that some boundaries were not meant to be crossed. The tale of the blood-soaked specter endured, passed down through the generations as a testament to the thin veil that separates the living from the spectral in the heart of Clinch's haunting woods. A few years back, when I was just 15, my family decided to embark on a fishing trip to a serene, forested lake. Now, fishing wasn't exactly my cup of tea, but my parents insisted it was a family tradition, so off we went. Eager for some peace and quiet, I wandered away from the bustling spot where my family had set up their fishing gear and chose a tranquil area on the lake's edge. There, I propped up my fishing pole against a large rock and pulled out my phone, hoping to alleviate my boredom by texting some friends. Time passed, and I found myself engrossed in a lively exchange with my friends for nearly half an hour. Suddenly, a noise disrupted the tranquility of the woods behind me. I turned to investigate, expecting a rustle in the bushes or perhaps a falling branch. What met my eyes was beyond anything I could have imagined, the head of what appeared to be an alligator, lurking just beyond the trees. My heart raced, panic settling in as I grappled with the realization that I hadn't known alligators inhabited this area. But as I scrutinized the creature more closely, a sense of dread crept over me. Something about its features was decidedly off. It wasn't a regular alligator. Its eyes, typically reptilian, were round with human-like round pupils, and the color of its skin seemed unnatural. The creature, rather than crawling on all fours, picked itself up using not 2 but 4 arms, standing ominously on hind legs. At that moment, my breath caught in my throat. Towering over me at least 10 feet tall, the creature's claws and teeth were massive and sharp. Its teeth, stained with a reddish tint, gave me an unsettling feeling, as if it had feasted on something unspeakable. What truly terrified me, though, were its eyes, eerily human, devoid of reptilian characteristics. A creature with such a perplexing mix of features left me paralyzed with fear. The creature took heavy steps towards me, using its 4 arms to maintain balance on its hind legs. Despite the horror unfolding before me, an inexplicable feeling washed over me. The creature seemed to be conveying that it meant me no harm. It stopped a few yards away, its massive claws and sharp teeth glistening in the dappled sunlight. That's when I saw it shake its head at me, a strange, almost friendly gesture, and it even managed to muster a smile. A smile that sent shivers down my spine, as if it was trying to assure me that there was no need for fear. My instincts finally kicked in, and I bolted back to my family at full speed. By the time I reached them, they had finished their fishing and were waiting for me with a mixture of annoyance and amusement. My dad, unimpressed with my sudden sprint, scolded me for abandoning my fishing pole. Panic gripped me when they insisted I go back to retrieve it, but there was no way I was returning to that spot. I attempted to explain what I had witnessed, the bizarre alligator-human hybrid with eyes that seemed to understand. However, my family dismissed my account as a product of an overactive imagination or an attempt to avoid fetching my abandoned fishing gear. No one took my story seriously, and the surreal encounter became a subject of ridicule rather than concern. The experience haunted me long after the fishing trip ended. I couldn't shake off the vivid image of that otherworldly creature with its human-like eyes, unsettling smile, and unnatural amalgamation of features. Nights were spent tossing and turning as the memory replayed in my mind, leaving me with a lingering sense of unease. The inability to make sense of what I had seen gnawed at me, creating a lasting impact on my psyche. Sharing the story with friends proved futile. The incredulous stares and laughter only deepened my isolation. It was a tale too strange to be believed, and I found solace only in the secrecy of my thoughts. The mystery of that encounter lingered, a puzzle with missing pieces that I desperately sought to understand. As the years passed, I grappled with the question of whether the creature was a figment of my imagination or something genuinely inexplicable. Perhaps it was a rare and unknown species lurking in the depths of the forested lake area, evading the eyes of science and discovery. The more I pondered, the more the boundaries between reality and the fantastical blurred. In moments of quiet reflection, I couldn't shake the feeling that the creature meant me no harm. Its strange gestures and almost comforting smile hinted at a bizarre but benign presence. But the unanswered questions persisted. What was it, and why did it reveal itself to me? The experience left me with a newfound curiosity about the mysteries that might exist in the world, hidden away in the unexplored corners of nature. It also sparked a yearning for understanding and acceptance, a desire to share my story without fear of ridicule or disbelief. The unsettling encounter became a defining chapter in my life, shaping the way I viewed the unknown and prompting a sense of wonder about the hidden wonders that might dwell within the depths of the world around us. While I may never receive confirmation or validation for what I witnessed that day, the memory serves as a reminder of the vastness of the unknown. Life's tapestry is woven with threads of mystery, and sometimes, the most extraordinary experiences defy explanation. Whether a product of imagination or a glimpse into the extraordinary, the encounter with the enigmatic creature in the forested lake remains etched in my memory, a surreal and unexplainable chapter in the tapestry of my life.